Right. So I told you in my last video that I was going to take a trip back in time. 1999, more bass. 1999. October 1999, and these tracks will be probably hip-hop because I say beats on it. The other stuff that I want to show you in a different video will be drum and bass, because drum and bass was a big part of my life in the mid to late 90s. So I'm going to listen to this, you're going to listen to this, we are going to listen to this, and to be completely honest, I did play some drum and bass music that I got from Butter Beats back in the late 90s or early 2000s. I listened to it on the mini disc recorder because I wanted to make sure the mini disc recorder worked properly and they're recorded properly, and played, of course, because I wanted to play this. And I got all my levels so I can record the sound, and with any luck, at the end of this, you should be able to hear the music in the same quality that I'm hearing it. But I'm not sure what to expect, because October beats, I mean, could be anything. The thing I do like about the mini disc recorder is that you can put digital titles on, and you can change them, you know, because you can rewrite. And a lot of these songs of mine from 20 years ago, or tracks, they have names. And names I have long forgotten. The first song is called Yamaha PS55. I guess that's a keyboard. So let's have a listen. I'm really kind of nervous. I know we're only a couple minutes into this, but my mouth's getting dry. Yep. There's 60 minutes of music on here. I don't know if you guys want to hear all of this. Maybe we can listen to a couple of tracks together. And the first one, like I said, it's called Yamaha PS55. Let's hear it. Is it just a drum machine demonstration? I'm going to see what a Yamaha PS55 is. It's an old-fashioned synthesizer. It's a plastic synthesizer, and it has a drum machine on it. And maybe I thought I would sample it and use it one day, because the only thing I heard there were basically the pre-programmed drums that come with the PS55. If you like those retro sounds, that's great. I don't even remember owning one of these. Maybe Eddie had one. That's Eddie. I think they call him Evil Eddie now, from Butterfingers. We lived in the same building. Promising.
Lion, you area. Coming forward to cross you to the you.
Yeah. Jesus. What the fuck was that? I guess I didn't know anything. That was horrible. Bowen Boogie.
yo. Less talking, more rapping, I said when I was trapped in the lyrical. Always eased my natural essence out of the presence of negativity with old school Johnny in my proximity. From now to infinity, I be Ramsey, A.A.K.A. the man to spray lyrics like Giroux does spiritual essence when he topic and talk and conversation. My next mental penetration involves the shit I wrote, 7th scroll, hit it to your next level, through ya, down with the worldwide opposite school, a rocket of tools come naturally, easily, deceptively. I switch on and off like a power switch, ain't life a bitch, and still come with it, still come explicit, and still come with the lyrical damn, always losing it on the freestyle wax stone tip. THC got me in the closed eye. Reference and my melody comes lyrically stun you like a lightsaber. Never ever ever say the word I sprayed out. Alphabet I said with the alphabet, cause I'm a chewing if you do it, if I let it loose. Flow my fluid to do it assertively. In my dominion, your opinion's no concern to me. I rock eternally, verbally, vocally, globally provoking me to keep my mind open. See, I'm way on top of this. My eyes like iridologists go deep like archaeologists. So please acknowledge the words that knowledge will serve yourself and the health of the earth. Check the stealth of the verse, I rock it. And it's like that.
Excellent. All right, now that was cool. That was good. I was happy with that. That's a freestyle from Ramsey. Ramen. I forget his last name. Everyone in Brisbane knows who Ramen is. He's a tall fella who's been rapping on everyone's instrumentals or doing backup verses for people for 20 years. I don't know if he's even alive. Ramsey, if you're still around, mate, in Brisbane, put a like down the bottom, or at least just say hello. I'd like to know if you're alive. I know your sister was hanging out with a rough crew in Sydney. I got another one from Ramsey, another freestyle.
See, there was one beat ahead when my speech read the situation before I never let it edit. When my vocal penetrations set it on the rhythm, magnetic like the earth's surface. You know I felt cursed, worthless like the pyramid, a myriad obsessions. Be meshing my profession, daily sessions, linking time rhymes like Hessian, symbolizing my aggression. Fuck that shit in my chest and attention in my stress. Then I measure the stress that penetrates my place in time and space. My nature's activated by the way I conversated when I spread it. Level the track down, display the exact sound with verbs and nouns to serve the clowns. You like it, you talk it, you better back it, cause I walk it all the way. My mind spray, blessed to express, yes, on top of it, again with the alphabetical.
I think it's pretty safe to say that's a pretty horrible mix. Very happy with hearing lyrics from 20... How many years ago? 1999, 24 years ago. Hearing lyrics from 24 years ago, it's amazing. I even know where we recorded this. Man, you know, like memories are coming back. And it was really cool to even hear my name being called out from 24 years in the past. Brisbane used to have a very, very healthy hip-hop scene. I'm not sure what it's like nowadays. They had a very vibrant hip-hop scene with lots of graffiti writers, dancers. There was the Channel Direct crew who were very good hip-hop breakers. And we had all kinds of, well, you know, shenanigans going on in the hip-hop scene all through the 90s. I like to think I played a little part in that. And I hope I didn't piss too many people off. But I used to work in a record store in Butterbeats in the 90s for a while. Like, you just meet lots of people. You get to know who's who in town. And Brisbane, to my knowledge, even to this day, has a very, very vibrant music scene altogether. I'm talking from rockabilly to death metal. There's a scene for everything in Brisbane. And Brisbane has a very, very user-friendly attitude as far as how I remember it. as far as, like everyone just storms down into the valley on a Friday or Saturday night and gets to see or hear whatever they want to see or hear. And yeah, I'm getting a bit sentimental hearing some of these old tracks. I don't want you to suffer through some bad mixes, but it seems like I've got a bunch of Ramen on here. I bet he would even love to hear this stuff. It's not worth putting out. It's not worth, sort of trying to siphon his vocal off of this instrumental and put it onto a track. It's just a freestyle. We're just having fun. Maybe we have a song or two on here, and I don't know that. Like proper songs with choruses.
Check it out. Check it out.
I hope it's not the same instrumental every time.
Lyricals from the mouth. Here we go. Check it, and it's like that. Yo. I'm swerving in the urban method with the effort, it's a definite contender. Absurd word bender from the first bong or verse of Voltron, verb defender of the universe and center. Come corrected rector. Fire center like the next electrifying check. The words are wrecked, so perfect on me perfected. Microphones with muzzle tones projected. Nice when I dissected. You whack lackluster shit, I dusted it. Your rusty shit's easily greasable when I busted it. So trust my form is transforming the norm. You wanna battle me, you battle your brutal stay torn. I'm schooling ya to wanna bully ya, but I'm fooling ya. Jiggy P to the keys to the city, man, I'm shitty. Insidious, no faster, school graffiti, bust my lungs stung for fun. Plus you kitty litter shit is sus. To hear the cuss, though your guts, know this definite professor will never ever hesitate to levitate the lesson, bring stress to those who lack the knack to activate the mental state. Cool fool, I pull the tractor. Be when your team's whack production, and my class blast your ass to destruction and pull your function. Like that, check it, yo. It's necessary for planetary deconstruction, consciousness, mode of life to exercise the higher when I'm busting. Faulty whirlpools get sucked in this corruption.
I don't know. We didn't release any of these as songs. These things were just being recorded in my place, in my little White Lion studio I used to have. This studio here doesn't have a name. The studio I used to have used to be called White Lion, and it used to be a bit of a thing. I had people coming and going, and it didn't always sound that trashy, but like I said, we're freestyling, we're off the top of the head. You can hear some of his rhymes as stuff that he's already formulated, but putting them all together, to make something a bit more cohesive, it didn't occur to any of us. So you're not going to really hear choruses and things, I don't think. It's just like a verse that goes for 32 bars, and then another verse that goes for 32 bars. I didn't know much about songwriting back then. I just thought as long as the beats are loud and the kick is loud and the bass is obnoxious, that you're doing the right thing. That's not necessarily true. There's a radio version. What does that mean? I think it's the same track.
Check it out.
Oh, radio.
Lyricals from the mouth. Here we go. Check it, and it's like that. Yo. I'm swerving in the urban method with the effort, it's a definite contender. Absurd word bender from the first bong or verse of Voltron, verb defender of the universe and center. Come corrected rector. Fire center like the next electrifying check. The words are wrecked, so perfect, I'll be perfected.
I wanted to say, and I know most people don't believe this stuff, but these are like a drum machine and a record, or two records, and maybe a drum machine. This is actual music made by people's hands, sampled on turntables. And I know it's a bit cliche these days, but that's the way we used to do it. I want to hear that intro again, because when you hear those cuts, that's me. That's me.
Lyricals from the mouth. Here we go.
24 years.
And it's like that. Yo. I'm swerving in the urban method with the but it's a definite contender. Absurd word bender from the first bong or verse of Voltron, verb defender of the universe's center. Come correct with vector. Fire your center like the next electrifying check. The words are wrecked, so perfect, I'll be perfected. Microphones with bundle tones projected. Nice when I dissected. You whack, lackluster shit, I dusted it. You rusty shit, easily greasable when I busted it. So trust my form is transforming the norm. You wanna battle me, you naturally, your brutal stay torn. I'm schooling ya to wanna bully ya, but I'm fooling ya. Jiggy jiggy P to the keys to the city, man, I'm shitty. Insidious, no faster, school graffiti, bust my lungs stung for fun. Plus you kitty little shit is sus. To hear the cuss, so you guts know this definite professor will never ever hesitate to levitate the lesson big stress from those who lack up. Not to activate the mental state, cool fool, I pull it.
Oh man, that's trashy. Woo! That sounds terrible. But it did take me back. And I know it sounds funny, but this kind of music played live, as bad and rough as that sounded, when people are actually doing it on a stage in front of you, or you're in a club and there's a crowd and people are pushing to the front to see what's going on when the MC starts, this music actually sounds really awesome. But like I said, at the moment, you know, listening to it from a music producer point of view, 20 years later, 24 years later, it sounds trash. It just sounds horrible. It sounds lo-fi without knowing it was lo-fi. I didn't know I was making lo-fi. I thought I was making fat beats, but you can hear, I think one of the albums is called Drum Crazy 11 or something. Tommy R.O., he knows about this. I was in a band or two with him, and I had an album, and it was just drum beats, and it was called Drum Crazy, and all I could really do with it was sort of like cut it or filter out different parts of the EQ through the mixer. You know, so you could cut it out with the crossfader, or you could fade things in and out, or even, I think, even switch off different frequencies, so like highs, mids, and lows. That's why you hear the filters always going all through there, because that's me showing you my skills on the mix. Whereas it doesn't translate really well if you're just listening to it as audio. If you see someone doing it and you hear what's going on and you see what's going on, you'd be convinced you were watching live music. And that's really what it was all about. It was the vibe of being there. And we didn't have mobile phones in the late 90s. We didn't have that many people even bringing cameras to gigs. So the only way you really knew how good something was when someone told you, or you heard it from someone else, how good something was. And you wanted to get to the next one. I'm going to see if there's anything else on here, at least for now. Ramsey a cappella. Okay. We did that song like a dozen times. I don't know if it got better. Shh. Let that be our secret. And this is my early attempts at dub and or reggae. So, like I said, I was involved in drum and bass in Brisbane for a good portion. I won't say 10 years, but for a good portion, maybe 5 or 6 years. I was involved in reggae for a long time, not necessarily participating in the reggae, but being one of the people who helped sort of, you know, put the gig on, you know, one way or another. So a lot of reggae involvement. I had a guy come and stay with me, actually. I think he was living in Canada at the time, but is originally Jamaican. And his name was Rabbi. And Rabbi was a singer. And I owed DJ No MC, I think $800 for my MC 303. I bought that new, and he ponied up the dough. So DJ No MC gave me a bunch of money. And because I was unemployed, it was very, very slow trying to pay it back to him. And I had a spare room in my house to pay the debt. You know, the singer rabbi got to stay at my place for, I think, a month. Yes, he stayed there for a month, and every morning he played the bongos at 7 o'clock, and he sang his heart out every morning, and none of the neighbors complained. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, this is possibly me attempting to do reggae. I'm not feeling confident about the mix. I'll try to keep this video not too long, but you heard that hip-hop. It was pretty trashy, pretty lo-fi. Lots of swirling and like frequencies moving around. I'm nervous whether or not this reggae might be just as bad or just as lo-fi. I'm not saying anything was bad about what we did, but obviously none of that stuff got released. These are just like recordings at home, or in the studio, I should say. It's probably the MC303, or maybe the 505. I got that later on. Ooh, sparse. It's a slow-moving train. I think you got the vibe. Not that bad, not horrible. Some of this music I actually did play live. So if you could imagine that over a loud sound system, it's not horrible, but the drums, I think everything was on 127. You know, everything was at the top volume. Like, so when you have the shakers and all of that stuff, everything's at the top. So the kick and the snare are the same volume, which is not how I would do it nowadays. And also it sounds like I just played out the drum machine without EQing it or compressing it in any way. So the drum machine sounds very thin. The drum machine kind of sounds flat. But at the beginning, I don't know if you're really listening out, I was trying to copy Tricky, or you know, that sound that Tricky had, you know, in my way. I guess we could listen to one more. Oh, a radio version. This sounds like something I might have actually played on the radio. As I said, I used to work at 4ZZZ radio station, which still exists and is still strong and staying long. This could be a song I actually played on the radio. I'll try to wrap it up so we don't make this video too long, but I would like to talk a little bit about what we heard today. So let's hear this thing. It's, what did I say it was called? Make You Mine. Make You Mine. .303. It's the dub of that last track. The dub. Long breakdowns, really long breakdowns. Oscillator. I owned an oscillator, a real big one from World War II. It's not trash, not this one. Ooh. I loved my breakdowns, huh? I wish I had known more about compression back then. I wish I had known more about frequency separation. And one of the things I probably wish I knew most was song arrangement. Because it kind of sounds like each track sort of like it has like an intro that's too long, like 30 seconds is way too long for an intro. And when I say intro, I just mean like slowly dripping musical information until you get to the first verse. The drums aren't loud enough. The drums aren't clear enough. The drums are clearly digital or from a machine. They don't sound human. They don't sound right because they're too on time. I like to hear that dub. You can hear already how the drum and bass started to already sort of filter through. Even when I'm trying to make reggae tunes, the drum and bass is filtering into that, and I'm putting double time into there. Whether it's successful or not, that's sort of anybody's guess. But like I said, it was 24 years ago, and I'm not ashamed. I'm not ashamed of the music on here. I did mix live music, and I did mix live literally like bands and things. But I know now when it comes to producing actually music to be released, the production value that goes into that music is astronomical. When you're playing live, everything's happening right here and now. You get to move the buttons and press the knobs and slide the sliders or tweak the EQ, but it's sort of all happening here. And when the music is over, the time for manipulating is over. Whereas when you're producing music, anyone who makes music knows you can spend a very long time on one song. Hell, you can spend a very long time on one loop. And I don't know if you heard my advice last time, but 8-bar loops are what you should be making. Forget them 4-bar loops. They're useless. They're going to start making your music sound repetitive. 8-bar loops, 8-bar loops, offset them. All of a sudden you've got all kinds of songwriting possibilities. So when you're making loops, make 8 bars. Or 16 if you want, but I like 8. It's not too much pressure. And I mentioned already I have ADHD, so 8 bars is pressure enough, sunshine. I wouldn't mind hearing a little more on here. I know the video is going to run a bit longer than I wanted it to. 120 BPM Fatty's theme. Fatty's theme? I wonder, is that Tommy R.O. playing bass on this song? Could it be? Oh, fuck. Shit. Oh my god. I can't keep doing that to you. Actually, it was promising at the beginning. Like I said, the mix is amateur at best. I had no comprehension of trying to remove bass from certain instruments. I thought every instrument I wanted to hear the full dynamic range. And if you can hear the full dynamic range of every instrument, you're going to have masking. And masking is when one frequency is similar to another frequency, but different. Maybe, let's say, a cello and a bass guitar. And the frequencies might be different, but they're so close in the mix that at a certain point they cross and they mask each other. And these parts might actually kill frequencies. So the phases will either reduce. So this is one instrument, this is another instrument. If the sounds are too close together, they either eliminate each other or amplify each other. And if you have, like, well, for example, a bass guitar and a cello, and the instruments go over top, they muddy each other up, and they may even cause a horrible peak in the muddiest part of your mix. Something that took years to understand. I didn't know about reductive EQ. I didn't really know about shelves, like high shelves, low shelves. I didn't know about that stuff. I did go to uni and I did study visual art, but I did study score writing for film and television for a semester, and that gave me the idea I could be a musician. I could try it. I could be a musician. I could make music, because I can make music for films. That's a different ball game. That's it. 15 tracks. That was the whole disc. I'm happy for anyone who stayed the full time. I'm happy that anyone stayed the full length to hear how good or bad this was. I won't be making any of these songs into remixes. I won't be taking any of these tracks and sort of like modernizing them and creating a new tune out of it. It really sounds a lot like, because it says beats on there, and beats aren't songs. It sounds like an instrumental with a bass line on it, and sometimes just some horrible drum machine drums. Like I said, in a live situation, when you play live drum and bass, and you have a live drummer, and you have synth drums playing on your synth or playing on your sampler, that environment makes the whole thing a really crazy and exciting place to be, and the sound is influenced by the whole environment. When you take that sound and play it in the living room, it doesn't translate, because we don't have the live drummer. We don't have the environment with the drinking and alcohol and the people milling around. We don't have that tension of where you are, and the sounds mixing in that room. The Empire. I played the Empire. The room has a vibe all of its own. So sometimes when you heard some of these drums are a bit yak, and they were yak, I'm not going to deny that. When it was played in a big room or a loud sound system pushed it out to the audience, and it mixed with the whole room itself, it was a different vibe. But as far as releasing music goes, there's nothing on this disc that would be worth releasing. Even though it's 24 years old, and to be completely honest, I'd want to contact Rahman and send him those few tracks I have. I skipped a few. I think it was probably repetitive at that point. I would contact him, or he can contact me, Rahman, if you're checking things out. And I'd like to get back in contact with him just so I can send him a couple of copies of these songs from 1999. It also goes to prove that 24 years ago I was making hip-hop and making reggae and making drum and bass all at the same time. What the hell was wrong with me? The main thing was I was DJing disco and funk. Disco and funk from the 70s. So I was very involved in the music industry, but not getting paid well. I think the average was $25 an hour. So when you worked anywhere, it was like $25 an hour. Not a lot of money, and it was always at night. Still, love the memories. I love 4ZZZ, love Butterbeats. I love everyone that I mentioned in this video. And if you're one of the people I mentioned in the video, leave a comment down below. It's Oldschool Johnny. You remember me and Tommy Arrow used to hang out together. I personally haven't spoken to Tommy Arrow for 20 odd years. I left Australia in 2004. Oh, 19 years then. So next year I will have been in Europe for 20 years. But still, these mixes are from a very, very long time ago. And I'm very proud to have been a part of Brisbane music scene. And it had a very vibrant scene. Probably still has a very vibrant music scene in Brisbane for all genres and styles. And from happy hardcore to bluegrass, you can hear everything in Brisbane. So it's a great place to be. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. If you like things, you know how it works. If you don't like things, that's fine as well. I'll make another video of more beats, and I'll make another video of my drum and bass. I say 2001, 2 years later, did he learn how to mix drums yet? We'll find out in the next video. Thanks for watching. My name's John Green, otherwise known as Oldschool Johnny. I'm here to play some songs from 20 years ago, so you get the idea of how bad or how good you might have been in the past. Doesn't really matter, because the music I'm producing now I'm very happy with, and I would dare say my remix, I did a remix of Polygon's Is It You. If you can hear this at some point, I highly recommend it. You can see it on my channel. Is It You? I think it's better than the original. So it's a long way to go from here to where I am now, but that's fine. I'm not a full-time producer, but I'm very happy with the way things have gone, and I am making money. So thanks for anyone who was concerned. You can buy me a coffee. I think there's a link somewhere if you want to do that as well. I appreciate it. See you next time.